We're here again with Penn State head coach of the men's volleyball team, Mark Pavlik. Coach, you guys had a road weekend this past week. Talk about your guys' win on the road.
Well, it was a pretty good weekend for us this early in the season. And the guys had to overcome weather issues, bus issues. We didn't get out of here when we wanted to. We didn't get into our first night when we wanted to. We didn't get into the gym at Loyola when we wanted to. The only thing that we wanted to, that we did, was beat Loyola Friday night in a great new facility that they have. And the Friday night match was one where Loyola is really tough at home. And our guys just kind of came out. We passed the ball really well. We served the ball extremely well. And we stayed real physical at the net. Now, for us to do that, I was a little concerned that the later the day wore on, or the night wore on, because believe it or not, we didn't start when we wanted to that match because of the storm that was hitting Chicago. So I was a little concerned that as the match wore on, our play was going to degrade a little bit, and that didn't happen. It was a real good win against Loyola. Then the next day, we drove down to Romeoville, and we were facing Lewis that has put together a real nice team for this year. They were coming off of a pretty good Outrigger Invitational, finished second out there. It was their home opener, and I think the travel caught up with us a bit. We stayed with them for about 2.5 games, and it felt like a heavyweight fight. We were just, both teams were from behind the end line, just serving haymakers. I mean, that was as physical a serving match as I've been part of, and I think we hung in there. We in games 3 and 4, we were 13-13, 14-14, and Lewis just kind of pulled away a little bit. Their offense was better than ours in those situations, and our block didn't really do anything to slow them down, but our serving and passing kept us in the match. So, for match number 3 of the year, I thought we did some good things. We tried to use some fresh legs, and Peter Russell and Nick Goodell, and they came up with some big swings and some outstanding play, but it just wasn't enough to kind of stem the tide against the Flyers. And, again, you look at the travel, and you get these 6'7", 6'8" guys cooped up in a bus for 8 to 10 hours, and it's a special skill. And usually when you travel this early in the season, you're just not quite firing on all cylinders, and when you face a team like Lewis that's played together for the last 3 years pretty well, it can come back and bite you, and it did. So we've had that. Now we just get ready to head to Columbus and take on Stanford and UOP.
And you mentioned you had a couple of fresh legs in there, especially your freshmen. Again, let's just talk about that. Aaron Russell, Goodell, and Connor Curry. Just talk about how they meshed on the court this weekend.
Yeah, Aaron had a great match against Loyola. I think he hit over 600 in that match, or 500 to 600. Connor's passing up until the Lewis match was just dead on, and then to say Connor struggled against Lewis is not accurate. He just wasn't as sharp as he had been the previous 2 matches. But the thing with Connor is he's just such a competitor, and you could just see him trying to figure things out and almost willing himself to say, okay, this next pass is going to be on the money. Goodell came off the bench. We got him into serve against Loyola, and he managed to put his only 2 serves into the net. But Nick was so amped up, it was funny. This was the first shot he had after redshirting a year, and it was kind of like, I finally got my chance. And the next day when we got him against Loyola, I thought Tommy and Jace particularly were looking a little worse for the wear, and we got Nick in, and I think Nick's first or second serve was his first collegiate ace. I think his first swing was a kill, and all of a sudden things started to happen that we've been seeing in the training gym with him now. He's got to learn to be a little bit more consistent, but there's certainly a level of physicality that he brings to us. And, those 3 guys right there, they did a real good job this weekend. And again, it's January. We expect them to get better. I know they expect themselves to get better. So it's going to be a real interesting trip with them this year.
Well, thanks, Coach. We'll talk to you later this week.
All right.